Hi guys, my name is Eva here. I am the owner, co-founder of Woman Meets Kitchen, and I have Mary Kay Irving with me here.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me back, Eva.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this.
Yes.
So last time we had Mary Kay Irving here, we were talking about keto paleo, and today we're talking about brain health, mental health, and nutrition. So I'm really, really excited about that because she's an expert, she has her practice, she is a nutritionist, but she also has a ton of background in psychology. So could you give us a little bit of, your background?
Yeah, sure. So I started my career as a licensed clinical social worker over 20 years ago, primarily doing individual group therapy and counseling for people overcoming depression, anxiety, trauma, and addiction recovery is basically my background. And in the last 6 years, I've been studying nutrition, and I've incorporated that into my work with people.
So how did that happen? How did you go from mental health to nutrition? What's your story?
Well, that is my story, right? We've all got a story for coming into paleo. So, trying to keep my story fairly short, I had some health issues. I'm a breast cancer survivor for 12 years as well. But then I've also struggled with lots of sugar cravings, sugar addiction types of stuff, which many people in our culture do. And being a cancer survivor, combining sugar is not such a good idea because it feeds cancer. So friends and colleagues kind of pointed that out to me, and somebody gave me the book by Gary Taubes, How We Get Fat. Why We Get Fat. Gary Taubes, Why We Get Fat. And I read that book, and it said completely the opposite of what I thought and what we had been taught was healthy eating and nutrition. So because I believed it, I'd already been gluten-free, and because I'm very research-minded, and I just read and reread Gary Taubes' book, and it was so convincing. I was like, my God, I have to try this. Because I'd also gotten my test results back from the 9 News Health Fair showing that my blood sugar levels were pre-diabetic, high inflammation, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I went up to the cupboards and emptied everything out and moved from gluten-free to basically being paleo. So grain-free, sugar-free, higher fats, lower processed carbs, or no processed carbs, basically. And within 2 to 3 weeks, my energy and my mood, oh my God, I was blown away. My mood, my ability to focus, the amount of energy, and the lack of cravings. I was so blown away that just increasing the amount of good fats in addition to the protein just kept me satiated.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
That does.
Yeah.
That does.
Just natural good foods that we eat kind of in the ratios that it comes to us in food naturally, right?
Right.
Yeah, so the piece that I didn't share about my story and why this kind of how I am combining the two fields. So not only my mood and energy stabilized, but what periodically for me had been cyclical depressions, episodes of depression and anxiety, where every couple of years I would try another antidepressant. And I'd done all kinds of therapy as a therapist. As a nutritionist, we try all the different diets. As a psychotherapist, we're often learning and teaching and training and using different types of psychotherapy as well. So I kind of had done all of that piece, but I would still have these periodic depressions. But ever since I changed my diet, that has not happened. So I've not had to take an antidepressant in over 7 years, which is, it's a godsend because it costs a lot of money and it costs side effects. And so nutrition for me has basically been what has taken care of that and eliminated my depression and episodes of anxiety and all of that. So it's pretty fascinating, powerful
This
stuff.
just gives me the chills.
Yeah.
There's so many people on antidepressants and anxiety medication and kids.
Yeah.
So many
causing
kids.
so many more problems and so many more symptoms, more depression, more anxiety.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
The side effects are scary. So question.
Yes.
How important is nutrition to mental health?
Very good question. It's huge. I mean,
it's everything, isn't it?
It's everything. And I was telling you earlier, I go to a lot of conferences and trainings, and because I'm so fascinated with all this and the new research coming out, I sometimes think of going back to school to get a naturopathic degree or medical, some kind of medical training or PhD, but all of the trainings that I've been to recently by doctors and researchers and naturopaths, everything they're saying is that nutrition is the most important piece. Your diet, what we're eating, what we're putting into our body, it really makes the biggest difference in reversing not just brain health, improving cognition and focus, in reducing and even reversing symptoms of mental illness, as well as just cognitive functioning like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
And not to minimize psychotherapy, personal growth, stuff like that. It's important too. But
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the base on which you built the house,
right.
You can't,
right. The foundation is important to heal. To help the medications work better that you're giving. And some people do need medications, and many of us do need therapy and can benefit from therapy, absolutely. But there's only so much we can blame on our mothers, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's not about my mom anymore. You know, it's about other stuff. For me, it was about blood sugar balance. For many people, it's about nutrient deficiencies, not getting enough of the nutrients that help us to develop. The body produces its own neurotransmitters that we associate with stable moods, with being able to sleep, with anxiety levels. So all of that is important. So the nutrition is one piece. Having the skills, the ways to think correctly, to calm the nervous system for trauma. Psychotherapy helps all of that stuff. Adding nutrition is gonna
that's the base for the house.
It's the foundation. That's where everything starts.
Yeah.
And then lifestyle piece, calming the nervous system. So those are the two things that all the trainings that I've been into in the past year, their focus was nutrition and then calming the nervous system through lifestyle practices, through getting 8 hours of sleep, through meditation practices, breathing exercises, gentle stretching and movement, all of the stuff that keeps us calm and not rushing through fast food and cramming food down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. So I wanted to ask you about some of the specifics of how the brain health works and how can we support it. So the first thing I wanted to ask you about was the gut-brain health connection. How does it work? How does what we put into our gut affect what's going on in our brain? Right.
So that's one of the fascinating areas of research going on is you're hearing a lot about gut-brain health. Our gut, we call it the second brain, how we get those intuitive you have a gut instinct about something. And there's a lot of people in the field that are starting to refer to saying that our gut is actually our first brain. So the vast majority of, probably the most common neurotransmitter that we hear about related to mental health is serotonin, because it helps with moods. A lot of people are on serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, inhibitors. And that's actually produced in our gut. It's produced by bacteria in our gut. So we have to make sure those bacteria are there and they're alive. We haven't killed them all off with antibiotics, and we're not feeding the bad ones that crowd out the good ones with sugar and processed foods. And the other connection to the brain health is through the vagus nerve. I just heard a recent discussion about the vagus nerve. When the vagus nerve is cut, and this is the the pathway that connects the gut to the brain, then there's a 50% reduction in Parkinson's people because of when that nerve is cut. So that indicates that there's some kind of something traveling to the brain from the gut that when it's severed, it's no longer 50%, it's reducing that. Wow. So there's so much that we don't know yet. It's a fascinating area of study and research, but we do definitely know that the food that we eat impacts the gut microbiota, and the gut microbiota are very key in producing not just neurotransmitters themselves, but producing the vitamins. These are the cofactors that help all of our chemical reactions, including making neurotransmitters.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm curious because I've heard, probiotics and things like that. So
probiotics with natural foods, eating good, healthy foods. But let me back up and talk about fat. I want to talk about fat, and fat in brain health is pretty important. We just talked about this. I teach nutrition group for people recovering from addictions. And we just did a basic introductory group around the importance of fats, low processed carbs, low sugars, but fat is kind of the key to both cellular health and brain health. Our brain is made up of 60% fat. So when we've been recommended to eat a low-fat diet, and as much as we have the word out here, people who, your patrons of your restaurant and people in the paleo movement, a lot of people have gotten the message that fat is not bad for you, but the vast majority of people still, it's on the shelves, even at the health food stores, low fat, zero fat, no fat. And we're starving our brains literally when we do that. And so no wonder we're having an increase. There's an increase in these mental health disorders. So not only mental health as in depression and moods and anxiety, but cognitive health, brain functioning, focus, energy, brain-related disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's, all of those things are very much impacted by too little healthy fats in the body. So in addition to the brain being 60% fat, every single cell in our body has this, what's it called? The surface of the cell, the membrane. The membrane, I guess I need some more ketones or some healthy fats for my brain. So the cellular membrane is composed of fats. It's composed of cholesterol. It's composed of saturated fats. All of the fats that we've been scared away from, that we get from animal foods, from eggs, from grass-fed butters, from all of these delicious foods that you offer here at your restaurant and the healthy restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
So our cells are not functioning when we're eating the wrong kinds of fats or too much of a fat. So both omega-6 fats and omega-3 fats are both found in nature, and the body needs both of them. Omega-6 are pro-inflammatory. We need inflammation. If we sprain our ankle or cut our finger, that area gets inflamed to protect it and send all the good fixer-up chemicals, like the emergency squad goes in and cleans up everything. But that's meant to be just brief and temporary, and then the anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids come in and decrease the inflammation. But in our society, we are today, in modern society, the ratio of omega-6 is 20 to 1 omega-3. So it's super inflammatory. The inflammation isn't coming down like it's supposed to. And that's what's associated with all these diseases, including mental health and brain health. So eating omega-3s comes in foods like salmon and eggs that are grass-fed, so higher omega-3s is what's decreasing that. And so back in the day, where paleo comes from, how our ancestors ate evolutionarily, it was 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And so,
You know, I have something that just showed up for me. So I didn't grow up in the United States. I grew up in the Czech Republic. And when I went to school, there was no such thing as medicating kids with some medication, no anxiety, no depression. There were kids that were misbehaving, and so you send them away, you send them to director's office, whatever. You do not medicate kids. And we did eat a lot of fat. We were eating a lot of, I don't even know what you call it. It's like fried bacon fat.
yeah, like pork rinds.
Oh, so good. So good, right? And we're eating tons of real butter. It wasn't until, it was interesting because we had and this is totally I'm getting totally sidetracked, but it was until like 94, 95 when we started getting those commercials for margarine, how that's supposed to be healthy.
Right.
We're 50 years behind you, okay? So it was like the vegetable oil, and my family like, oh, we need to do the vegetable oils because, you know, this bacon stuff is really bad for you. And, you know, now things are getting worse and worse in Europe, and you wonder why.
Right, because they've changed from the natural ways of eating, the natural foods. I was just having a conversation online with a friend of mine, I don't know if you know her, Aga, and she's from Poland. And
Angie?
Yeah.
She did a Facebook Live 3 weeks ago.
No, different.
Okay, different one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're friends too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, from the cultures where they ate sausage or brain naturally, or just the organ meats and food off the farm.
Too.
You know,
we did it all
it's
the time.
Yeah, and my mom, who's into her 80s now, whose brain functions much better than mine even, and she was I have a picture of her as a 3-year-old holding the chicken in her hands.
Yeah, that's what
and
we
they
did.
ate the eggs, and so that helps in 2 ways. You're eating the natural foods and fat, but you're also getting the good probiotics because they weren't afraid of dirt. She was out picking worms during the Depression to help pay for things. So so just being in nature and eating foods that come to us naturally through nature is the best thing to do. And that's why I am a patron and a fan and an advocate for your restaurant, because you offer those good, delicious foods that are going to keep us healthy. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for saying that. No liver, though, because people get grossed out. But I do love liver.
No liver.
People do get grossed out.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just a challenge
we do have
to
bone
add
broth
in.
now on the menu, grass-fed
Nice.
bone broth, which is cool. And people can order shooters, so that's good for gut bacteria.
Absolutely, yeah, good for healing the gut so that we're not leaking into our bloodstream stuff that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. So maybe we're going to talk about? We skipped over something.
That's okay. We've talked about a lot. We've covered a lot already. It's hard.
We talked about fats, how fats are important. So if somebody's dealing with anxiety, like for example, I get anxious at times and I start freaking out. Somebody quits at the restaurant. I'm like, what do I do?
Of course.
So what's good? Fats,
Deep
avocado?
breathing.
Deep breathing.
Deep breathing, yes. Fats can be helpful for anxiety, not just fats per se, but we talked about the ketogenic diet in the past. So ketones, which are the byproduct of the body breaking down fats or breaking down our own fats, develops these ketones. And ketones are very supportive to brain health, including anxiety and depression. Not only because it balances blood sugar, because blood sugar imbalance can create anxiety or exacerbate anxiety. The dips as well as the increases in blood sugar, but also ketones themselves interact with and promote a neurotransmitter called GABA, and GABA is an it slows things down. So it's really helpful in that regard.
Is there other way to get GABA? Is there
you can take supplements in the store, GABA Calm or just GABA itself. You want to start low, like 100 milligrams, and then gradually increase it because you just need to find out how it works with your body. Sometimes the other thing that can help with GABA production is eating actually more carbs, so good healthy carbs like sweet potatoes or something.
Interesting.
So if you like your sweet potato, the way that works is it can help with tryptophan. So we were
5-HTP.
5-HTP, tryptophan, which we're all familiar with, kind of the relaxing, sleepy effect after turkey at Thanksgiving. But
it supports serotonin production, right?
Oftentimes, tryptophan is kind of like the low man on the totem pole when the brain comes to what amino acids it's going to use. And so, if you're not eating protein earlier in the day, but just add a little bit of the good complex carbohydrates, like a sweet potato with butter or something, so that you're not competing with the other amino acids. Then tryptophan will be more likely to be utilized and transferred into serotonin and then melatonin, which helps with both relaxation and sleeping.
Interesting. So you're saying, should you eat those if you say you want to have a sweet potato with butter, provided that you're okay with butter?
Like so for helping, it's really for helping with sleep and calming. You're asking primarily just about anxiety.
I'm just
anxiety.
Yeah. I'm just curious about the timing because you said eat protein in the morning and sweet potatoes in the afternoon. Or I might have just
it gets confusing. The way tryptophan in general, sometimes if somebody's taking a tryptophan supplement, but which is an amino acid. If they're taking other amino acids to build muscle or something, then tryptophan competes with them. It's the low man on the totem pole. The tryptophan won't get through.
It won't get
so
through.
You don't want to be eating it together with other proteins or amino acids.
I got it.
So you'd have just a sweet potato snack.
Okay, I got it. So
early in the evening.
What's tryptophan in besides turkey and?
It's an amino acid, so it's a breakdown product of meat and proteins, but it can also get it from carbs, healthy carbohydrates like root vegetables.
Beets have tryptophan too.
Probably.
Yeah. And
I don't know for sure on that one.
I also heard a lot of wild game and grass-fed meats, which is why most of Americans are deficient in serotonin because we don't eat that stuff anymore.
Right. People are eating animal products that are trapped in cages and highly stressed and being fed grains, which is not their native food. So it's like the system is all out of whack. And so the animals are not well, and then we eat the unwell animals, and we are not well because we're not eating the type of nutrients in the ratios that we were designed to eat them and benefit from them for our brain to function.
Right. This is so interesting.
So get your good fats, eat your grass-fed, local, sustainable food. When you're eating out, go to Blooming Beets, add extra fats.
Let's forget about that. Add an avocado to your dish.
Avocado to your salad or to the side of your egg breakfast. And I eat bacon with your eggs. I add whole grass-fed butter or ghee if you're sensitive. A lot of people are lactose intolerant, and
a lot of people come here are.
And the countries, when we think of, our ancestors and the Eastern cultures in Europe and all of that, they're eating butter from and raw dairy that has not had all the nutrients taken away. So it's
we
really
used
different.
to eat that too. We used to scoop off the top.
Eat the cream.
Oh oh yummy. Okay, so we covered a lot about anxiety. What about depression?
It's gonna be the same basic stuff. That's the fascinating thing, and the cool thing about paleo is that whatever the health condition, that's the fascinating thing too. The more I was studying, the more I'm reading and learning. Okay, this is good. It helped me reverse my pre-diabetes. It's good for helping me continue to be a cancer survivor into 12 years now. It's good for heart disease and hypertension. It's good for brain health. It's good for everything. So it's, again, eating a nutrient-dense diet with balance of animal proteins, healthy fats, lots of water, and the cofactors, which are the vegetables. One of the misnomers about paleo or keto is that you don't eat vegetables or it's not enough, and that's so not true. I actually even eat way more vegetables now that I'm doing keto. So you have to have the nutrition, the vitamins and the minerals. That's what makes everything work as well. So you have to get it all. And that's going to help the depression. Low anti-inflammatory, omega-3s, Bs, the B vitamins that you find in both the animal meats, whether it's, if you're vegetarian, you can get that from eggs and sometimes dairy, and green leafy vegetables, spinach and chard and kale and broccoli and all those cruciferous vegetables that gives you folate and zinc and all the stuff, potassium that comes in and magnesium from the avocados and all of that good food.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we covered a lot.
Thanks for having me.
We covered a lot. No, I want to ask you about, just for everybody who's listening, and I'm really looking forward to this. Are you still doing the Keto Paleo Flexible program in August?
Yes. It's looking towards maybe the end of August, maybe even early September. But yeah, I'm going to be running coaching groups, Keto Paleo makeovers, basically. So people who are wanting to experiment with keto, paleo. Some people are going to be just cyclical with keto, but they want to learn how to do it safely. And it's a full integrative lifestyle coaching program. So we'll be focusing on diet, nutrition, and also lifestyle, meditation, and take some hikes together and visit local restaurants and work on our mindset and community and all of that. So I'm really excited to bring that.
That's really exciting.
Yes.
And I'm curious, what is the results that you're aiming for? Is this for people who want to lose some weight, or is it for people who have never done paleo, now they want to transition, they don't know how, or who is this for?
Yeah, it's actually, it's for everyone. I mean, I'm going to offer, if some people just kind of want to do it on their own and they're like, just send me the recipes, tell me what to do, then that's what they can get. If people want more and more one-on-one coaching and the group interaction, then they can sign up for that piece as well. So yeah, whatever level people want to do it at so it'll be personalized, and I'm really about it for health. A lot of people got into keto originally for weight loss. the body may or may not lose weight. Some people might actually need to gain some weight. Some people gain weight and then they're in distress and like, why am I gaining weight? The body, depending on how much metabolic damage you have, it might take longer to adapt. And so people might need some more kind of guidance and support and kind of figuring out, are your hormones out of balance? What else might be going on that's making it difficult for people? And women tend to do keto differently than men, because we're built differently. We have different hormones, and it can create some more challenges for women. So I want to make sure people are doing it safely, with support, and figuring out bumps along the way if we need to.
And I think, and I always say this, if you're doing, and I would really recommend this, if you're transitioning into paleo, if you're really serious about, transforming your health, we cannot do these things alone.
Absolutely
Because
not.
left to ourselves, we always slump into our old negative patterns.
Absolutely.
And so it's, I mean, some people can, you have books and you can do it on your own, but it's always good to share results, be in a group setting where you get the support, and
Right.
you can share and you can celebrate, and
Absolutely.
when you have a breakdown and you messed up and just share it with somebody, get the support, and
Right. We lived in supportive communities back in the paleo times as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
live in tribes. So
Absolutely. So yeah, it's nothing worse than getting stuck alone in our heads and starting to hear those critical voices. So absolutely, the community is going to be a big part of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the results that your group will be producing, and hopefully we can get somebody to come and share and
that'd be
talk about
awesome.
what they're getting. Like I posted on Facebook like a couple weeks ago, and I asked people specifically, what's the results that you have produced since going paleo? The post is still pinned there, and you guys can go there and see it. It's absolutely incredible. Like the kinds of results, and those are people who have been on paleo, not just like, the last month I did it and now I'm feeling great. Those are people who stuck to it for years and years. There's people who have been 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years. And it's just the results, they have...
Right. Eliminating medications. Saving money, having health and more time with their family. Just like crazy stuff.
Reversing autoimmune, which is absolutely...
Gut healing. Lots of amazing things happen with food. Food is powerful.
Yeah, it's so important what we put in our bodies. So,
Yeah.
That's it. So,
Thanks for having me again.
Well, thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back probably next Monday. I don't know who I'm gonna have
And
here
feel free
yet.
to post questions. We'll be checking and answer.
Oh yeah.
If there's any questions.
Will you post in a comment a link to your
Sure.
website, your
Absolutely.
program, whatever?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys for watching.